Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video we're going to be talking about the top 5 best swords in every sea. So sit back, relax, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so starting off with the swords in the first sea. To be honest, there are only 4 swords which are actually good in the first sea. Other than that, all of them are absolute trash. So at number 4 we have the dual-headed blade. This is actually quite a decent sword for the first sea and actually does some decent amount of damage, as you guys can see. But compared to all the other swords on the list, the dual-headed blade is actually quite difficult to use. So if you are deciding to use this sword, I would recommend you guys to watch the video till the end, because you can definitely find something better than this, which is also easier to get. So yeah, let's move on into the next sword. At number 3 we have the Bicento sword. Yes, Bicento is actually very famous in the anime, but in Blox Fruits it's actually quite weak. But it is definitely a lot more stronger than the dual-headed blade, as you guys can already tell. And to be honest, if you are a sword main and you are in the first sea, I would highly recommend you guys to use the Bicento sword, because it has big moves and does a lot of damage. So yeah, with that being said, let's move on into the next sword. At number 2 we have the Soul Cane. Yes, Soul Cane will definitely be on this list. Basically, when you use the first move of this sword, your opponent will get stuck for like 1 or 1.5 seconds, which then allows you guys to do some insane combos. So with that being said, I have to rank this at number 2. Oh yeah, and also I will not be explaining the swords in the first sea that much, because they are not really that strong. Like, they are good, but compared to the swords in the second and the third sea, they are like little babies. So for that reason, we are gonna be going through these very fast. So swiftly moving on into the best sword in the first sea. Here we have the Saber. Yes, Saber is definitely the best sword in the first sea. And to be honest, I don't even have to explain this sword. Just look at the moves and you guys can already tell how strong this sword is going to be. And also, compared to all the other swords in the first sea, this sword has very high damage. So if you are farming bosses, PvPing other people, or you know, just grinding in general, you can definitely use the Saber sword and you guys will not be disappointed. So with that being said, I think we should move on into the second sea swords. So the 5th best sword in the second sea is Rengoku. Yes, Rengoku will definitely be at number 5 on my list. This sword has some very high damage. Just look at the moves, man. They are so clean and they do so much damage. The only reason why I put this sword at number 5 is because it's actually quite difficult to use. Noobs like me have a very tough time using these kinds of swords, and for that reason I have to rank it at number 5. Oh yeah, and you can also hold the second move to make it do a lot more damage. Look at that, man. Okay, at number 4 we have the Midnight Blade. This is actually such an underrated weapon, and today I will show you how OP it is. First of all, the Midnight Blade is a lot more easier to use than the Rengoku sword. Just look at the moves, man. They are so clean. And especially the second move, it's quite fast and super strong for PvP. So yes, this is definitely going to be above Rengoku for me. If you pair this sword up with like a good fruit, oh my god, you guys can be doing some very insane combos. And trust me on that one. So yeah, we are going to be ranking this at number 4. Swiftly moving on into number 3, we have the Gravity Cane. Trust me, this sword is very strong. Like, a lot of pros would be disappointed at me for not ranking it any higher, but I have an explanation for that. Because this sword is a little bit difficult to use, I cannot rank it any higher, because not everybody will be able to use it properly and they simply would just change to a different weapon. So for that reason, I cannot rank it any higher than number 3, but it is definitely a S tier sword. Now, moving on into number 2, we have the Dragon Trident. This is my personal favorite sword in the entire game, like legit. Before I explain this sword, let's talk to the Master of Auras and see what color is he offering. Blue jeans. Yeah, rip. I'm already gonna have this. Yep, there we go. Well, that was 5 seconds of my life wasted. Well, that's not like I play Blox Fruits for a living. Sad days. Anyways, Dragon Trident is the best sword for beginners. Look at the first move. It's fast and deals a lot of damage. And just be prepared to look at the second move. Look at that. The AoE, the damage, and plus it stuns your opponent. Like, what else would you want from a sword? And I kid you not, like legit, a lot of people think this sword is not that strong, but once you use this sword, trust me, you guys will see how easy it is to bounty hunt. Like, look at that. I just did a one-shot combo in like what, 2 seconds, and that is not fake. Like, you can actually do that on our opponent as well. So with that being said, do not sleep on the Dragon Trident. It's definitely one of the most strongest sword in the game. Okay, now the best sword in the second sea is the True Triple Katana. Yes, True Triple Katana is a super strong sword, which unfortunately I do not have. I have the Shisui and I also have the Wando, but I don't have the Sadi sword, and unfortunately for that, I cannot get the True Triple Katana. But you know how nice I am, so I will be showcasing it from the wiki. Yeah. So here is the first move, and it's actually quite decent. Look at how fast it is, and that can be a very good move in PvP, I can tell just by looking. And the second move is actually quite decent. If you look at the Shark Anchor sword and you look at the True Triple Katana sword, both of these moves are actually quite similar. So yes, do not sleep on True Triple Katana. It is definitely one of the strongest swords in the game. So yeah, I'm actually sorry for not being able to showcase it, but yeah, at least I showed you guys the moves, right? Yeah, I should stop with this stuff, man. Like, what am I even doing? Why don't I have True Triple Katana? Well, for this big mistake that I did, I have to compensate for it, right? So I will be telling you guys one thing. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go buy some hair. Okay, there we go. Perfect. What the fuck? If you are still watching the video till now, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are very close to hitting 40k subs. That would be greatly appreciated. Okay, enough of these jokes, man. Let's move on into the third sea sword. So at number 5, we have another sword which I do not have. Yes, I'm talking about the Fox Lamp. Unfortunately, I've been very unlucky with the Kitsune Shrine and I wasn't able to get the little Fox Lamp. But of course, I will showcase it to you guys by using the wiki. The first move is this. It's actually quite decent for grabbing people and annoying them. And at the same time, it does some decent amount of damage. And the second move is just as annoying. And it also does a little bit more damage. So for that reason, I will be ranking the Fox Lamp at number 5 on my list. Now, at number 4, we have the Tushita sword. This is actually quite an underrated sword, and to be honest, it's broken. Like legit, it is actually broken. The first move you can hold, which can stun your opponent and deal up to 5.5k damage. Like, how crazy is that? And the second move is basically like a dash, and it will deal also around 5k damage. So combining all of these moves will basically make you guys hit around 10k damage without even upgrading the sword. And to be honest, this sword is absolutely broken and easy to use. So if you guys are starting out on bounty hunting, I would highly recommend you guys to use this sword. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, I think let's move on into the third best sword. At number 3, we have the Shark Anchor. Yes, Shark Anchor will be on this list as well. This sword is just crazy. The first move is similar to True Triple Katana, as I said earlier, and it does a decent amount of damage as well. And the second move is like a dash, which also stuns your opponent and deals a lot of damage. So if you guys are using the God-Human fighting style or the Sanguine Blood art, you can definitely make this sword very strong. And trust me on that one, boys. So with that being said, if you are trying to earn some bounty, I would highly recommend you guys to use the Shark Anchor sword because it's absolutely insane. Now at number 2, we have the Spiky Trident. Yes, the Spiky Trident will be on this list as well. This is by far one of the most annoying swords in the game and also a very good sword for combos. Well, basically suppose that is your opponent, right? You just press the X move of Spiky Trident this will pull him towards you. Then you can use spam all your moves and you can easily do a very insane combo. Just like that. It is that simple. And to be honest, this sword is pretty difficult to use, but once you get the hang of it, like legit, you can pull a player who is that far away when you are fighting him. Like, look at that, man. It is so insane. And even if you are not a sword main, for example, you are a Blox Fruit main, you can still use this sword for your advantage and pulling people in and doing some insane combos. So for that reason, if you guys haven't tried to use this sword yet, please make sure to give it a try. It's absolutely insane. And now, finally, at number 1, we have the Cursed Dual Katana. A lot of you guys would have expected this sword to be on this list, and of course, it had to be this high. Surprisingly, this sword has the highest M1 damage compared to all the other swords. And just look at the moves. You will actually fall in love with this sword when you first start using it. Look at that. I just did 11k damage in like a heartbeat, and I didn't even have to do anything. So yeah, that is the main reason why I ranked this at number 1. This is probably got to be one of the most strongest swords in the entire game. Look at that, man. It's so easy to use. Once you get used to this sword in PvP, you will be a undefeated little noob. I mean a undefeated champion. So yes, that wraps up the video. If you guys still haven't subscribed to the channel, like what are you guys even doing? Please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you haven't already, make sure to join my Discord server if you want to trade with other people, do raids, or you just want to talk to other people. Yeah. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and hopefully I will see you guys in my next one. Peace.